for Monday, the 21st of February. I am Randy Kure. This is What's Up the Sports podcast coming at you live via Facebook and through Apple's ColorCast app. Hope you are doing well, keeping safe. And on behalf of Canadians across our great land, I want to wish you and yours a very happy Family Day. It is Family Day in the province of Ontario. Might be a little weird to hear a holiday with that kind of title, but it is what it is. It's a great reminder to be a part, to recognize those who you are, who you call your family, and another opportunity for us to spend some quality time. So we have a holiday in this province. I am off of work like most of my fellow Ontarians. And once again, on behalf of us, we wish you and yours the very best. So on today's episode, we are a day removed from the NBA All-Star Game. Well, what did you think of the 75th edition of the NBA All-Star Game? What is Philly and Brooklyn going to do? If you had forgotten, James Harden and Ben Simmons will be playing on new teams, along with the likes of Seth Curry and Paul Millsap and more. We're also a day removed from the Beijing Olympics. Did you watch the Olympic Games that took place halfway across the world, especially if you are living in North America? Also, we are a week removed from the Super Bowl. Once again, I am coming at you live via the ColorCast app on Apple. Hope you're doing well. First of all, I do want to give a shout out to Neil Chenille. He had introduced me to the ColorCast app a few weeks back. Him and I collabed on a couple of projects and really had a great time. And it's a great opportunity to hear the comments from fellow sports enthusiasts, and I've had a great chance to speak to a number of you as you had welcomed me to your cast. And if there is an opportunity that you do have a couple of minutes to spend with me, really hope that I could hear your thoughts on the ColorCast app. Once again, that's on Apple. With that said, what a great time, to be a sports fan. We're, like I said, a day removed from the 75th edition of the 75th edition of the NBA, and its All-Star Game took place in Cleveland. Team LeBron, once again, it's been 5 years since the NBA adopted a new format in terms of drafting players, and Team LeBron was victorious over Team Kevin Durant. LeBron James 5-0 since they adopted this idea of picking two captains and having those captains pick their respective teams. LeBron James, if you haven't seen the highlights, hit a game-winning shot in that final quarter over Zach LaVine. Kind of fitting that LeBron was able to do that in his twice, you could say, stomping grounds of Cleveland, Ohio. And Steph Curry with an incredible, memorable performance with 50 points. He was 16 of 27 from what I saw from the three-point line, and was just absolutely on fire. He I think, got 21 points in the third quarter alone, and was just absolutely dynamic, and also kind of fitting in the sense that Steph got to do that in Cleveland. Of course, Cleveland, a city that means so much to him, as he reigns supreme as NBA champion, not once, not twice, but a total of 3 times. I'll get to my thoughts on the All-Star Game in a couple of minutes, but it was really great to see, as a Raptors fan, Fred VanVleet representing the Toronto Raptors, first-time All-Star, the 4th non-drafted NBA player to make the All-Star Game, and really seemed to fit right in with the very best of the NBA. And you have to give some love as well to Precious Achua and Scotty Barnes. Scotty Barnes may have had a little difficulty in the skills competition when he collabed with Tyrese Maxey, but Scotty Barnes has just been a revelation with the Toronto Raptors. And there has been, of course, thoughts and talk of Barnes. Is he going to make? Is he going to win? Excuse me, the Rookie of the Year award? Of course, he is in steep competition with the likes of Evan Mobley, and is it going to be enough for Barnes to become a Toronto Raptors Rookie of the Year? Of course, he is in decent company with the likes of Damon Stoudemire, Vince Carter, who had won the Rookie of the Year as a member of the Toronto Raptors. I do have to say before I switch topics, what is it about the All-Star game? It comes with so much hype. It has so much importance to the players themselves in terms of making the NBA All-Star game. And, does it come up short? Yeah, I got to say that when it comes to the lobbying for getting to an all-star game, the main sportscaster for the broadcast of the Toronto Raptors, Matt Devlin, he was starting to call Fred VanVleet Freddie All-Star in the hopes that he can get VanVleet over the top and make the All-Star game. And he did. And then you have that product, and it is what it is. Like, am I wrong to say that the NBA All-Star game itself can use a little improving? That Rising Stars competition was just fantastic. That you had 4 teams who are trying to make it to win that competition. You had the likes of Isaiah Thomas and Bill Walton, James Worthy, trying to lead their respective teams to winning that All-Star Rising Stars Challenge. And it was fantastic basketball. I know that there's a lot to be said about players getting hurt during this competition, but I think that there is in between that players are not achieving. Those first 3 quarters were just was just unwatchable for a guy like me. I mean, what about it? What about for you? That I'm going to be pulling up the box score in a second here and try and find where what the scores were for that All-Star game. But in the end, you had a score of 163 to 160. Where is the defense? I mean, I get it that defense could lead to injuries and it could lead to twisted ankles, and I understand that completely. But a total of 323 points in a basketball game where you're supposed to have the sport's best. Some of those players play defense, but at All-Star games, it just completely goes away. I mean, should it? So, in the end, Cleveland did seem to have a really great show. I said I was going to bring up the box score. And you had scores of 47-45. You had 49-46. Third quarter was tied at 45. And they split it up quarter by quarter. I have to think that something could be done to elevate the level of competition, because the way that I see it is that it's missing out. It's the showcase event for the NBA regular season. It's not the NBA finals. There is a lot that can be lost from players if they do get injured during that All-Star game. I get it 100%. But instead of going from 0 to 60, are they in fact going 30 miles an hour? I don't think so. As All-Star Game was in Toronto in 2016, it was an incredible showcase event where the city of Toronto and Canada was really at the forefront, and people got to recognize our city. Now, unfortunately, the highlight once again was Toronto and Canada and its weather, because it was blisteringly cold during that weekend. And it was ironic. I remember specifically that the winter was quite warm up until that weekend. My thoughts was that the Americans brought the cold weather up to Canada, but we all know the truth of the matter is that yeah, it does get kind of cold in my neck of the woods. But if I remember correctly, I think the winning score was up 200 points. That doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound like a game where the very best of that sport come together to play. Anyway, maybe I'm saying what you already agree with, and maybe I'm just repeating what your general thoughts are. But I think that the league could do more in terms of highlighting the importance of NBA All-Star Game, and really try to make the most of what they have during the midseason classic. You know, we're so many. I guess we're what, 1-2 weeks removed from the big trade, from NBA trade deadline, and of course the Brooklyn Nets and the Philadelphia 76ers was at the forefront, trading two of their all-stars, perhaps future Hall of Famers, in James Harden and Ben Simmons. You had to think that Ben Simmons was going to go. I, for one, was surprised that James Harden was a part of that trade. I always thought that if Simmons was going to get traded to Brooklyn, that it was going to be for Kyrie Irving, but in the end, it was for the beard. And you have to wonder where Brooklyn and Philadelphia are going to be in the end of at the end of the regular season. That Brooklyn, take a look at the standings in a moment here, but Brooklyn is fighting to stay in the play-in tournament in the Eastern Conference. But now they have so many pieces along with Ben Simmons that you have to think that the Nets are going to be a real contender in not only the Eastern Conference, but could they put themselves over the top and make it to the finals? They're sitting right now in 8th. They are 2 games behind my Toronto Raptors. You have to think that Brooklyn, despite being in 8th at the All-Star break, can turn it up, and not just turn it up a notch, but turn it up significantly to making it to an Eastern Conference final. Could they finish in the top 3? Will they be able to get home court advantage because of this trade? And where does Philly end up in? Am I to think that this is a last-ditch effort? Is it inconceivable to think that the Philadelphia 76ers may drop significantly in the Eastern Conference after this season? What kind of contributor is a guy like James Harden? Here is a guy who left Oklahoma City, as most free agents do, in the traditional sense that he wanted to get a big contract. He wanted to have a bigger spotlight. Of course, it was an incredible big 3 with Kevin Durant, with Russell Westbrook. Of course, Serge Ibaka was on that team as well. What would Oklahoma City had looked like if Harden stuck around? They didn't make a final with those 3 and Serge Ibaka. But then he goes to Houston and demanded and wanted his way out. He let himself wasn't overly into working out much. We saw certain pictures of him where it seemed that he had put on some weight, and then demands a trade out of Houston, cripples that franchise. Right now, they are really struggling to stay relevant. But now he goes to Brooklyn. And is it too much to think that James Harden could have grown more as Kyrie Irving was going through his deals and whatever kind of issues he had with taking the vaccine? Of course, he is not able to play at Barclays Center because he is not vaccinated. Is it unfair to think for James Harden to say that he wanted to be around a winner? He had only been in Brooklyn for so long, and the notion of winning a championship, I get it, it is so vital to a player's career when he does retire. But he is playing with one of the greatest players currently in Kevin Durant. Could those two have built something? Could we see a following season where Kyrie Irving would have been able to play in Brooklyn because of COVID-19 and, hopefully becoming less and less of a factor? And is it possible that they could mesh together cohesively as a unit? Maybe Kyrie had burned James Harden's bridge and wouldn't been able to see a resolution. There's always trading him during the during the off season this coming June, July, whenever the NBA championship is handed out. But now Harden goes to Philly. And is Philly automatically a contender? You got to think that Joel Embiid is one of the top candidates for league MVP. A lot of people are saying that he is in a two-person competition with Nikola Jokic of the Nuggets. But look at this Sixers lineup. You have Embiid and Harden. You have Paul Millsap, who, in my opinion, really hasn't been relevant in years. You have Danny Green, a veteran who has, of course, won championships. Is he that same guy who was one of the key contributors for the San Antonio Spurs and the Toronto Raptors? Want to give a shout out to Vic25, who is listening in. Hope you're doing well. Is it inconceivable to think that the Philadelphia 76ers may not be as relevant come the following season? I mean, right now they're on a high. How adaptable is James Harden going to somebody else's team? Joel Embiid, to me, is one of not only the top players skill-wise in the association, he's one of the most marketable players. And to me, I just am completely in love with Joel Embiid. Vic, you know what? I am doing good. I got Vic here on the chat here on the ColorCast app, Apple's ColorCast app. I am doing great. Vic, I am coming out of Toronto, as you may recall, and the province of Ontario is in fact celebrating Family Day. Google it. Family Day is in fact a holiday. It is today. I am off of work, so on behalf of me to you and your incredible family, want to wish you and yours a very happy Family Day. Vic, hey, this is an open forum. I'm talking basketball. I just had a little rant about the All-Star game. Was going to talk about Olympics as well. You're more than welcome to jump on and share your thoughts on whatever is on your mind. I'm going to try and see if I could get to your level of knowledge. But hey, I'm talking basketball right now, and where is Philadelphia in terms of uh, how they're going to pan out for this season and going forward? Right now, they're third in the conference. They are 2.5 games behind Miami and Chicago. And I wonder if they are going to be a contender and make it to the NBA to a relevance in terms of the Eastern Conference, and could they make the finals for the first time in such a long time? Vic, I tried to pass over the mic. I think you said you needed 5 minutes. I'm going to throw over the microphone to you, and yeah, let's see if you are available now, or if you still need that 5 minutes. Definitely love to have you on the show here. So, hey, I've been spitting so much about the Toronto Raptors. I am a Raptors fan, of course. Oh, Canada, I apologize. Hey, Vic, what's going on, man? Happy Family Day, my friend. No, hey, no worries. Life gets in the way sometimes, doesn't it? Well, it does bring up a couple of great points. And Vic, I'm just going to do something quickly here. How is my audio? Are you still able to hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, cool. Because yeah, I got a couple of different audio platforms here going on. So I am chatting with Vic 25, and yeah, I mean, obviously James Harden, he can produce results, but is it just does he make a team better? Is he the one responsible for Oklahoma City making it to that final? And you had to wonder that if Ben Simmons did have a role, maybe as a power forward with Joel as five, if they were able to get somebody to distribute that ball, where would Philly have been if Jimmy Butler stuck around, or somebody legit at the one? Uh, you know, uh, I mean, what did you think Philly? Who do you think Philly could have used as that trade deadline come and gone? You didn't seem to be overly impressed with Harden.
No, I think it was good. I just feel like the they gave up a little bit too much. You know what I mean? They gave away huge players that were good role players like Andre Drummond and Seth Curry. I feel like Andre Drummond coming off the bench for Joel Embiid was huge. He can clean the glass, and he could play great defense. And I feel like he was just a huge piece for Philly that they gave up, and they gave up those draft picks as well. That's just my opinion. And then on top of it, like the East is so good. There's so many great teams in the East now. The Heat, the Bulls, the Bucks, Raptors, Celtics, and even the Cavs, man. The Cavs are sitting at fourth right now. That team's going to be dangerous in the next like year or two.
And first of all, I do want to apologize. I tend to go on tangents, and I do want to make things. I do want to bring things back to all the incredible points that you dropped. But yeah, a team like Cleveland, obviously with Garland, Mobley, Kevin Love is that leader. Yeah, I wish the Raptors, and Goran Dragic could have come to that kind of medium where Dragic could have been that mentor to Achua, of course, Scotty Barnes, and so on. But yeah, with the likes of Drummond and Curry, as you mentioned, especially those two draft picks, you had to wonder. Yeah, exactly your point. How much did Philly give up beyond Ben Simmons? let's say that Harden in Philly doesn't work out, then Philly would drop low and lower in the standings. That much more opportunity in getting a top level pick. Seth Curry is obviously a great facilitator. Being like brother Steph, he's somebody that I would love to give the ball at the 3-point line. And as you mentioned, Andre Drummond, is there any perfect backup to somebody like Joel Embiid? Maybe even have Drummond at 4 with Joel at 5. And Vic, I'd love to have you stick around for a few more minutes if you're able to. Um, I don't know. I am scared about Brooklyn. I am scared because you have Durant, you have Ben, Seth. If he could be that kind of guy who could lead the offense at point. Wow, and you have the future coming up as well with 2 picks. Now, obviously, if they do yeah, no, for sure. Vic, I am going to throw the microphone over to you again. If you are able to join in, please by all means. But if you do have to roll, I understand completely. And it's another thing about that deadline that the NBA definitely seems to have a lot of action this year the during the NBA trade deadline. So we'll see. And Vic, great to have you come on again. Now, remind me and the audience, who is your squad? Who do you pledge allegiance to?
The Chicago Bulls. I'm a Chicago sports fan.
Chicago sport, yes. Reminds me, and hey, it's been a great time for Chicago. There's such a rejuvenation of the Bulls, of course. DeMar DeRozan, he is maybe he's he's looking on the outside as discussion of MVP rolls around. What do you think of Chicago? Are they in position for a run for come playoff time?
So I really like what the Bulls have done with this new front office and hiring Billy Donovan as the head coach. They've really turned this Bulls team around after like struggling in the past years. Like they had struggles with building around Levine, and once they got this new front office, they really did something. And this season has been amazing. It's just we just keep getting unlucky. It started at the beginning of the season with COVID, and now it's with injuries, man. And like we can't catch a break with the injuries. Caruso got injured. He came back, got injured again. Lonzo's out. Patrick Williams and Zach LaVine has been dealing with like a knee injury, and
Mhm.
I think he's good. He played in the All-Star game. I mean, we'll see once the All-Star breaks over if it's still bothering him or if he'll play. And I don't know. Like I thought this would maybe be our year, but like I think maybe next year will be just due to like all the injuries that we've had.
And it does make a good point that where do teams because obviously the Bulls they just essentially they overhauled their entire roster. A lot of people need to be reminded of how criticized Chicago was in that signing of DeMar, and now it just seems to be obviously find me another free agent signing during the past offseason where DeMar DeRozan wasn't the top free agent signing for the Chicago Bulls. I mean, I lost in this, and I don't know if you had mentioned Nikola Vucevic. Here is an all-star capable player. He represented Orlando a couple of times. Uh, how do you think Chicago's benches, do they have that all-rounded team where maybe next year, or if the stars are aligned, that they could make a run and get to a final for the first time since Michael?
So I mean, here's the thing. I think we're lacking on bigs on the big men on the bench. I think our guards are good. Kobe White he's been playing phenomenal, and so has Dosumo. Dusomo was drafted late, and he's really making a name for himself in these minutes that he's gotten with the injuries from Lonzo and Zach Levine. He's been really shining when he's got the opportunities, and I think it's kind of a blessing in disguise. Like if you think about it, like Kobe White and Dusomo getting these opportunities to start and to play in this league and get that experience early. It's kind of great, and I just feel like we're lacking on bigs because when we traded away Laurie Markkinen, I thought he would have been great coming off the bench, but he was just unhappy with Chicago, and I like so I mean I understand why he left, and we just signed Tristan Thompson, so I wonder how that will do. I mean we needed another big man, so we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Tristan Thompson, he can bring some finals experience, of course, winning a championship and going to all those finals as a member of the Cleveland Cavaliers. He hasn't really found a significant footing since leaving Cleveland. In my opinion, maybe you might think otherwise. Uh, I gotta ask you. I'm not sure if you are if you did follow the Olympics. I did have a couple of things to share about the Olympics as well. You know, did you catch the Winter Games? Of course, that concluded yesterday, the Beijing Games.
No, I haven't. I actually I don't think I've ever watched the Winter Olympics. I've watched the Summer Olympics before. I just never have gotten into the Winter Olympics.
Yeah, as somebody who's from Canada, of course, we do have a great level of success in the Winter Games. Hosted the Vancouver Olympics in 2010. With regards to the Winter Games, what is it about the Winter Games? Is it something like? Can you put a finger on why you don't personally don't follow the Winter Olympics?
I just feel like it's during like when basketball's playing, and I just like basketball is my favorite sport, and
Sure.
I feel like I'd rather watch that over the Olympics. I don't know how that sounds.
So
I don't know if that sounds.
no. Hey, under 100% completely. Now, so in terms of and like, are you a like a football, baseball, like a North American sports guy? Are you solely basketball? Like, because actually, I do have a question about the Summer Olympics and basketball. After you after you share, what does Vic like?
Uh, Basketball is my main sport, and then I like football as well. And then like I know a little bit about soccer. Like I'm not like I used to be obsessed with it for a little bit, and then it kind of fell off. And it's just basketball and football has been stuck with me.
Gotcha. Yeah, exciting times. Of course, Canada and the USA are that much closer to qualifying for 2022 in Qatar a little later in November. Had the chance to go to the Canada USA game when it was played in Canada. Unbelievable time. But hey, you're a basketball guy. I've been thinking about this since time. Not sure if I told you about my idea with regards to elevating international basketball. So take it away from the Olympics, because obviously it is, the global aspect of the Olympics. Maybe they could play it under 23 like they do in soccer during the games. But obviously the United States is on a level that nobody can catch. I mean, Canada does have the likes of RJ Barrett, Jamal Murray, Gilgis Alexander, who's doing some great things in Oklahoma City. But I always wondered how legit a tournament, a 7-game tournament, would be if you had USA versus rest of the world. Have taking a look at that international squad with the likes of Doncic, Antetokounmpo, Jamal Murray against John Morant, against maybe a veteran leader. Obviously, Kevin Durant is so devoted to the USA team. If and maybe it doesn't have to be played in the United States, in North America, that this is going to attract that kind of attention where it can be played in a France, in a Spain, where basketball is home. Vic, I know I threw this at you without any prep, but what do you think? Am I far off?
No, I think that sounds pretty cool. I would like to see that, but I just got a question. So would it be like USA versus like all the international countries combined with NBA players,
Yeah,
or like
yeah,
you said?
I
Yeah.
yeah, because I think that with respect to Croatia and Spain, Argentina, they're nowhere near USA. Canada's nowhere near USA. Uh, and when Canada, when the USA, they lost their first couple of games in tune-up against Australia, against Nigeria during Tokyo. I was like, yeah, they're still going to win gold. They like it's not even a competition. I'm, as a big basketball fan myself, I am. I don't get into international ball because, in the end, and I could say it if I was American, that and I know that USA didn't win gold in 2004, but I'm sorry, like it does not scream competition to me when you have, and Vic, again, I'd love to get you back on the seat if you still have a few minutes. But
I'm gonna have to go, but thank you
no,
for having me on the
no, no,
hot
no,
seat,
for
man. I
sure, for
appreciate it.
sure. Yeah, no, hopefully we can hook up again soon. That is Vic 25, big time Bulls fan. Was kind enough to join me. Really, really appreciate him. But how far off am I in terms of getting an international tournament where it's best of seven, uh, and have USA versus the international team. Who else am I missing? You think of a guy like Josh Giddey, who's doing great things as a rookie for Oklahoma City. You know, I think, and honestly, and with respect, I think that uh, USA is not a clear cut favorite. Maybe they will be a favorite, but are they going to run away with it like they do when they play Turkey? Or and hey, Turkey's doing some incredible things as well. I mean, they have a number of players in the NBA. I think I'd really love to see it. Having said that, and put it on the flip, for a World Basketball Championships, because of USA's participation in my conception of an international tournament, what if there was an international tournament that did not include the United States? If Spain and Canada and Croatia, obviously Slovenia with Doncic and Dragic, and so on, what kind of competition would that entail? Because is it too much for the United States to run every 2 years? To have the likes of Durant and so on. Obviously Carmelo Anthony, because he played so many tournaments for his country. Like, is a basketball competition going to attract Americans without Americans playing in the tournament? I can appreciate the fact that it would be hard to get numbers. I could appreciate that advertising would be what it is, and that there isn't going to be a lot of support for this tournament. But you know what? I think that there's a lot of meat to that bone. To have a championship that didn't include the United States, it doesn't have to be played in the US. It doesn't have to be played in Canada. It could be played in Europe. It could be played in Far East Asia, like the Japans or the South Koreas, where advertising is what it is. And you know how much international sport, North American sports, gets attracted outside of our borders. I mean, hockey games, regular season hockey games can get a full house in Tokyo. It does attract full houses in the likes of England. I mean, the O2 Arena in London, you had a full house when NBA games are being played there. The Toronto Raptors played at O2 Arena. I can't remember who they played against, but the Toronto Raptors, sure, they had the international appeal, but they were not winners of the NBA championship yet. But they were still able to attract the full house. Maybe it is a little bit different because international squads are not at the caliber of NBA teams. But if you have in Australia, you can get a Ben Simmons and a Josh Giddey. I don't know what a guy like Dellavedova could be, but if you couple that with the likes of a Greece, you'd have to think Antetokounmpo would suit up for Greece. I mean, he's done it. He's done it before, and I think that there is a lot of appeal to have that kind of international tournament, and especially to play it in the summertime when you're not competing with a World Cup or an Olympics during the summertime over in Europe. Think about it. Let me know. Come on and chop it up with me on the ColorCast app, and let me hear you think how far off your boy RC Milton could be. So, definitely want to talk about the Olympics as well. And like I was saying to Vic, Olympics, the Winter Olympics are very important to the likes of Canadians. We finished in fourth in the Beijing Olympics with regards to total medals. Had one more medal than the United States in terms of total medals. Canada did finish with a total of 4. And I think, if memory serves me correctly, USA finished in 8 with 8 gold and 25 medals. A total of 25 medals. What are your thoughts on the Olympics? I gotta tell you, like I remember the Olympics when I was a kid, and it was just all pure. It was just all love. With my first recollections of the games were Seoul way back in 1988, and I go far way back in 1988. But you think of I think of when the Olympic Games were in Calgary, and the likes of Elizabeth Manley, who was a figure skater. She won gold. She won silver. That was where the Jamaican bobsled team came to prominence in Calgary. And it just is a different sense for me when it comes to the Olympic Games. To me, I started to think a little bit less of the games after Sochi. You had $56 billion for the Sochi Olympics. 56 for a 2-week tournament. I mean, is it too much to think that that money could be spent elsewhere? And I'm not even talking about Russia. You're talking about what kind of money that was spent during the Rio de Janeiro Olympics. As mentioned before, and I'm sure you remember the Vancouver Olympics of 2010, and was the cost of hosting the Olympic Games? I mean, how much was felt in the city of Vancouver, the province of BC, the country of Canada? I mean, we didn't have to spend for a new 20,000 seat stadium. We got to use the stadium that the Vancouver Canucks play. We got to use the football stadium that is in Vancouver, BC Place. But a lot of infrastructure was built for Brazil. Not even the Olympic Games in 2016, but I'm losing my sense of years now, but not only for the Rio Olympics, but for the World Cup that they had as well. A soccer mad country like Brazil, and they spent for new stadiums. I think all you needed was just a pitch and a few seats, and Brazil would have been able to have a great show. And I don't even know what the total bill was for Brazil, but you have to think that they spent so much money for the Brazil World Cup. And now you have Qatar for the World Cup. I know originally I was talking about Olympics, and I'm going to get back to it, but to me, the World Cup and the Olympics, they go hand in hand. Does the world really care about new facilities? All you need to go is to Sherwin and Williams, get a couple of cans of paint, and it would be good as new. And I don't think the world would care. I mean, there are so many countries who are not at the economic level of the United States and Canada and England. We just want to showcase our sports, don't we? I mean, beyond the infrastructure as well, it's obviously the main issue with the Olympics is the issue of doping. And if you were close to the storylines that took place in Beijing, there were two figure skaters who was at the center of attention. And you had a 15-year-old kid who was the focal point of cheating. And I don't know if you know of the name of Kamila Valieva. She's 15 years old. She takes a dope test in December. IOC raises concerns about it during the Olympic Games, which is 8+ weeks after the fact, apparently. And there's a doubt on whether she should compete, even though she already did and won gold in the team event of figure skating. This kid is 15 years old. And she is looked at throughout the entire planet as a cheater. Now, indications said that she got a hold of her grandfather's heart medication by accident, which was the reason why she tested positive. And with all the stress, I for one didn't watch it. I don't know if you did, but there was criticism of how hard and how difficult the coach was for this young lady. You have to think that she wasn't really enjoying being a figure skater. That's not what sports is about. I mean, I am very, very proud of the success that my country has in whether it's the Winter Olympics, the Summer Olympics, any sort of team competition where my country is represented. I don't want medical assistance like steroids or performance enhancing drugs to win. That's not what sports is about. That's not why you and I got to this forum that is ColorCast and discuss about the sports that we love. That's not why I talked to Vic 25 a few moments ago, talking about basketball. I don't want to see any of my favorite players cheat. And these athletes who are at the center of attention every 2 weeks, like the rowers that we see in the summer games, and the speed skaters that we see, and the lugers, and the softball players when softball is being played at the Olympics. I mean, it's about our country. Why can't we just simply enjoy our country being able to take part in this global event and just showcase the kind of talent that could be created? And look, I know that I'm just venting on something that I don't think is ever going to change, but newsflash, we are not going to remember a lot of these gold medalists. Tell me right now, who is at the list of gold medalists within your country? I know of one individual, and of course our women's hockey team, because all it takes is one game to realize that the championship match between Canada's women's hockey team and USA women's hockey team. I knew that USA won in 2018, and Canada just recently won in 22. The other gold medals, uh, I would be surprised if I remembered the speed skater that won the third medal in a couple of weeks. I can't remember the fourth gold medalist for Canada. Anyway, I'm venting here, but what is uh, the what is ahead of the Olympics for the coming years? Maybe we're just so disconnected because the Olympics were held on the other side of the world. It was difficult for us to see it in real time. You had uh, Beijing, then you had Tokyo. Before that, you had Tokyo. Before that, you had Pyeongchang, South Korea. Before that, I mean, it was in Rio, and which is convenient for a North American aspect. But in 2014, it was in Russia, a country that has been criticized for its human rights uh, uh, issues, and they spent $56 billion on their Olympic venues. I don't know. I don't know if I can get into the Olympics after hearing about all this. I mean, the Russian uh, delegation, I mean, it's just kind of semantics. I mean, they weren't able to fly Russia's flag, but those athletes were still able to participate as the Russian Olympic Committee. So they still got to have uh, their country's uh, distinction as being Russian to those Olympic Games, but they weren't able to raise their flag. And this is the third time this has happened in 30 years. It was the Commonwealth of Independent States once upon a time. It was known as the Unified Team. This was since 1992. That's not that long ago. Trust me. It's not that long ago. 30 years is not that long ago, especially when I lived it all. I really obviously don't see a silver lining. I don't see anything that's going to improve. But hey, maybe things will change when the summer games are next held. It's going to be in Paris. And then the winter games are going to be in Italy. And then the summer games are going to be, in Los Angeles. Third time that the city of Los Angeles is going to host the Olympics. So maybe I'll have a different tune. Maybe if it is that much closer to my normal routine and closer to my time zone, that maybe I could get more and more into the Olympics. But what about you? I don't know if you feel the same way with me. Are the Olympics, has it lost its luster? But anyway, I'm going to probably get going in a few minutes, but I do want to really give a shout out to each and every one of you who I've been able to chop it up with in the past. ColorCast is a really, really great app. And I want to give a shout out to a former colleague of mine as well, who donated his phone to me, his Apple iPhone. And if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be able to log on to get an account, to do what I'm doing and have done in the past via ColorCast. So to Kevin, I really want to thank you very much for what you have for giving me your iPhone, and to the makers of ColorCast. I really want to thank you so much for this platform where amateur sportscasters like me can communicate to the sports enthusiasts just like me, and able to discuss with the likes of those of you who are have such a huge following. I think of Novi Blends. I think about Patrick Rush. People who I've been able to chat with over the months that I've been on ColorCast, and it really is such a great time. Finally, I do want to once again give a shout out to Neil Chenille. He told me about this great platform. Him and we had done a couple of projects on this app, and really looking forward to chatting again with him soon. And finally, there was a guy that I had talked to as well. He is a big Atlanta Hawks fan. Him and I might get together, maybe with Neil next week, as the Raptors do play against the Atlanta Hawks. So to him, I definitely want to thank him for reaching out, connecting in me, and hoping we could chat again soon. So listen, this is the first kick at the can at this, in terms of me going solo on ColorCast, and really want to thank y'all so much for giving me the couple of likes, and I really hope that we can get a chance to talk soon. I am RC Milton. Randy, to those who are close to me, this is What's Up the Sports podcast. Hope you're doing well. And once again, on behalf of all of us Ontarians, want to wish you and yours a very happy Family Day. I'll talk to you next time.